Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Footy Show Daily. We are here live on Patreon. Get your comments, your thoughts, any interaction that you want to do. Get it in the comments about the football in the last few days. Anything that you want to have a chat about, let's get into it. Champions League, obviously, last few, well, certainly Saturday, Friday night. Big Champions League games. Manchester City taking on Real Madrid in the second leg. Manchester City obviously already 2-1 up. And Manchester City went through with a little bit of help from the Real Madrid defence.
Well, just from Rafael Varane. So much the defence, just him on his own. City... Obviously, we're always favourites for this, weren't they? The win over just before lockdown in the Bernabeu, you know, set them up nicely for this one. But then there's always that worry when you come back into that no crowd would level it up a little bit. And obviously, City, Varane, Real Madrid playing out from the back and Varane making an absolute mess of it, you know, which resulted in Raheem Sterling putting them 1-0 up in after 10 minutes. But then, you know, brilliant header by Karim Benzema to make it 1-1. Lovely ball in, great header back across Ederson. He'd had a couple of other half chances, Madrid. So obviously when it goes 1-1, it's in the balance then, you know, another goal and then the ties all square. They had a couple of half chances as well where they might have done better with, but you know, obviously City got the winner, didn't he? Gabriel Jesus with Varane again, making another error, trying to back pass that head, you know, the ball back to his keeper, never got there, and Jesus nipped in and clipped it beyond the keeper and got themselves through.
Good.
David Silva's last game.
Good victory. I thought at times they tried to, well, it's Manchester City. There's a few opportunities Man City did had to really kill the game, and they didn't, and I just also wonder whether this is going to come back to hurt them, which it does for Man City at times. I was worried for City's Champions League know-how, where Real Madrid, all that experience, Zidane on the bench, players like Benzema who know how to get the job done, but they got, obviously, it wasn't fortunate because they did control the game. They did control the game, so it wasn't a fortunate victory. It's just that when you see Manchester City start to miss so many opportunities or overplay, and as I said, another mistake led to another goal, and they were, you know, he took it well. They were very clinical, and they got through on the tie 4-2.
55% possession, City, and 20 attempts at goal to 9 from Madrid. So they were in command of it, really. And
obviously, we had the other tie going on at the same time in Turin, Juventus against Lyon. Lyon took a lead early on, first 10 minutes, penalty, brilliantly taken by Memphis. And then they come roaring back and got a penalty themselves just before half. Another handball. The amount of goals, penalties recently they've won via handballs is incredible. They got another one, and obviously Ronaldo, fantastic strike, and you're just thinking he's on for a hat-trick here. He's going to get a hat-trick here, and they'll go through. But they couldn't get over the line, and Lyon end up going through, and they'll face Manchester City Saturday night, I think it is, in Portugal, to go through to the semi-final. And fantastic opportunity for Manchester City, but brilliant for Lyon. Another French team in there, which is really interesting. You know, when people talk about French football and the French league, to have another team in there. But obviously, from a Juventus point of view, huge blow. You know, the money they've invested in that side in the last 2 years. For Ronaldo as well, first time he hasn't been in the quarter-final since 2009, I think it is, something like that.
Yeah, it's what, 62% possession, 16 attempts at goal to 6. And obviously, in this one, obviously, if this had been played when it should have been, Memphis was injured. He was out injured, the knee injury, wasn't he? So he's back with, you know, Panenka for the penalty. And like you say, Ronaldo come up big with a couple of goals. And then you're expecting that third goal. You're waiting for it to go in. And it doesn't go in and they lose the tie and Sarri loses his job the next day. And you just expected the players they had. I think they had a brilliant opportunity this year because it's going to one-off games.
No, just talking about Sarri. I mean, he lost his job. I mean, first of all, what are your thoughts on that? Because he delivered the title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been unlucky, hasn't he? Really, I guess. You know, last year he finished third and won the Europa League with Chelsea and was sacked, or moved on, whichever way you want to look at it. And he's gone to Juve, and you know, before lockdown, Lazio were tough. You know, and they've come out of it. Lazio they've been the ones hardest hit by the lockdown because they were in a great little run and a good groove, and Juve had a little wobble. Come out to lockdown, they've obviously got over the line with the title, won another title. You felt like the Champions League was always going to be a big thing for them. I don't know whether people like Ronaldo had their say on his style or whether, I don't know. I'm just saying, because why else has he lost it? Has he lost it because...
I think they were well within the rights to sack him.
Okay.
Because they said in the statement...
It was European.
It was the European. They basically said in the statement, we're here to win the Champions League. And we haven't even got into the quarterfinals. Yeah. And they've played Lyon. And no disrespect, but it's Lyon. And they're Juventus. And they've put a lot of money. They've built that team. Spent a lot of money on it. And he's not got them to the quarterfinals. And I think the way they would have looked at it is in one-off games with having someone like Ronaldo and the talent they've got, they would have had a great chance. And I know it's a cruel business. I know it's a hard business. But at the top, that's what it is. If you create a team
to win it,
and you don't get into the quarterfinals, then I honestly,
this year more than ever they had a great opportunity because it was just wide open. One-off games, and with him as your kingpin who's been there, done it, always comes up with big goals. You've got a great opportunity. You've got players like De Ligt, you know, and Rabiot, and there's just so many. And,
I have no sympathy for him.
And you nearly seen one of the greatest goals ever from Bernadeschi, is it how you say his name? Never say his name properly, but he went on the most amazing run. Have you seen him? And he draws the keeper goes sliding past him, and he thinks he's got it with his left foot, and it's an unbelievable block from Martillo, I think. Martino slides back and gets a block, and it would have been unbelievable. But it is what it is for him. You know, he's won something again. And again, he's lost his job. But you're right, they've invested heavily to go deep into that and have an opportunity. And this was the opportunity with one-off games, shootout games. They'd have been fancying themselves up against City, you know, with Ronaldo. Yeah. With City's back four, maybe, and with Ronaldo, they've got half a chance. But they've gone out and yeah, you're talking about, you say, you know, the well within the rights and all that. They've gone and replaced them with Pirlo, who was being in charge for 9 days of the under-23s. That's where the argument sort of falls down.
But what I would say is, from a club point of view, I think what they're probably looking at is they've probably, obviously, you took charge of the under-23s nine days ago, wasn't it?
Impressive in the 9 days.
It's the suits.
It's impressive.
The suits. Tail shell glasses. But they'd obviously decided at some point that he was going to be the next manager. What I mean is they've got him lined up by putting him in the under-23s.
Yeah.
And they've obviously felt, let's just get it done. Let's just start again. And maybe it's been a case of, you know what, we've set unrealistic expectations, and now we're going to go take a step back. But by taking a step back, we're going to take the whole thing a step back and allow Pirlo to grow. And he's part of the fabric of the club. And you've got like people like Buffon around them and other people around them that are all understanding. Maybe that's it. Maybe they've looked at Zidane. Maybe they've looked at Pep. And there was talk that he wanted Zidane.
Yeah.
So maybe they've looked
at...
And
Pochettino's another one.
Yeah. Maybe they've looked at that situation and thought, right, let's get our own in. Someone who can grow into the job. Put the people around them and we'll be successful here. Someone who's on the inside, not someone who's coming from the outside again. and let's see what happens. As a football man, you know, he's right in there. You know, we don't know what he's going to be like as a manager. We don't know what he's going to be like as a coach. I mean, as a coach, he might be the best coach in the world, but is he a good manager? Can he talk to players on that level? Can he make tough decisions? It's going to be very, very interesting. I hope he does really well, because as a person, as a player, I think he's fantastic. So I hope he does well. But because for me, I like the idea of those kind of people coming, almost, you know, going out to the game, getting their education, and then coming in. Okay, some people say it's too quick. But look at Lampard at Chelsea. Look what he's done so far. Okay, you know, he had a year at Derby, but they might say, well, Juventus might say he doesn't need a year because he's got everything he needs. He's got it set up.
If all the components are there behind the scenes and they all back him, and then he's got this mate, Buffon, who's a massive character at that club.
Exactly. Well,
Well
he'll
respected.
probably have a few of those kind of people, though, won't he?
And they respect him now, so therefore it dampens down the discerning voices.
Yeah.
Then he can get on with it. You know, and who knows? He looks great in suits. He looks great in his vineyard, sipping a glass of red with his shirt sleeve rolled up to here and chilling. Can he do it? Time will tell, but it's in Juventus, especially when you watch the Netflix stuff, the documentaries about them. They're an institution, aren't they? And therefore, he is rooted within that.
Yeah.
And it could work well. It could be absolutely brilliant. You know, you've got people like Solskjaer at United. If that's the kind of thing. So there's a few now popping around, and Guardiola will be the biggest one, obviously, because he's done the most through that.
And I think what helps is these people know the mentality of the footballers, because it wasn't that long ago, and that they were footballers,
and the mentality of the club,
and they're revered by those footballers as well. They look up to them, so you can't have nothing but respect for them.
Last game he played was a Champions League final for them, wasn't it? And Barcelona beat them.
Yeah.
It was his last game for Juve, wasn't it? Before he went off to New York City. So he's had the experience of being in other places. He's played at the very highest level. He's played in World Cups. Wonderful player.
Yeah.
Can he become a wonderful manager?
It's going to be interesting. Saturday night we had two more games. Bayern Munich were already 3-0 up from the first leg. They dismantled Chelsea 4-1, 7-1 on aggregate. Second time they have put 7 past a London-based team, which has gone down really well because of all the people calling the German League a Farmers League and things like that. So I know a lot of people have took a lot of joy.
To be fair, they put 7 past Spurs in a game.
No, I know. But a lot of people have put, like, you know, we've seen like score lines of like 14-3.
But they're a proper team.
No, I know.
When Liverpool took them apart in the... I can't remember. Aren't Liverpool's still their cup, isn't it? Apart? I don't know.
Have
they won it this year as well?
Liverpool won it this season or last season?
Know.
I can't remember.
Now, when Liverpool took them apart, they looked like an Asian side, and we've done that on this show before. They've turned it round in 12 months to being a real athletic, pacey team. They were just simply too good for Chelsea the other night. What did you make of Hudson-Odoi's goal being disallowed? It's in a box. It was like fractional offside. It was, but it was like really
Wasn't it
close.
to do with? Isn't it? See, what I don't get about that, wasn't it to do with? Am I thinking of the same one?
Tammy Abraham running back when it was played forward. It got intercepted, and he's cut in and just put it past New. It was a cracker, but Bayern are just brilliant. They're just a brilliant side. And they've got that lovely mix now of everything. If they got one stroke 2 more, then I tell you what though, they're a real shout for this year's Champions League. Definitely, with the goals and the pace they've got.
See, I think
and you've got Lewandowski.
What's interesting is Lewandowski's the player of the year. Don't give him monkeys whether they're not giving awards out or not.
Incredible.
He's the player of the year. He's the world player of the year.
46 goals or something.
He's amazing. He's absolutely all-round game. He's gone up a level. What's good about that is that obviously they haven't played a game for about a month. So to go in and do that to Chelsea, and this tournament style could really suit them from game. You know,
games, isn't it?
You know, going from game to game and. To win 4-1 is phenomenal. No one will want to play them because they've got that lovely mix of experience and youth and pace, and they've really embraced bringing, you know, the young players in, getting rid of the old, where they looked really slow last season, and now bringing in the young players, and not having any worries about bringing in young players as well. I think that's been a really, we've seen that in Germany all over.
Yeah.
And I think what was interesting is from like Dortmund started that, and Bayern Munich have sort of like took it to the next level, because where Dortmund fall down is that they have a lot of young players, and they mix them with the older players, or more experienced players, but the more experienced players aren't like world class. Whereas what Bayern Munich have done brilliantly is they've got world class players, and then you bring in the young players in, and they're all fighting to get to them.
You look at people like Gnabry, who's been brilliant. Alphonso Davies has been a revelation, left wing back. You know, those kind of players in with people like Muller, with Lewandowski.
Well,
you know,
they've out Dortmund basically, haven't they? In that
well,
kind
they've just
thing.
done a mix. They've done the mix, which is what you want, isn't it?
In the other game, Barcelona took on Napoli. You know,
perfectly poised before
1-1 from the first leg, but Barcelona got 2 early goals, 10 minutes and 23. Messi with.
The goal was brilliant, wasn't it?
It was a Messi goal, wasn't it? It was a Messi goal.
Fallen and still managed to carry.
He had one disallowed, handball, would have been a great goal, but it just touched his arm.
Under the, scooped it over the keeper,
and then
didn't he? Yeah.
Just before half time, and this was like, it was seen as being like a controversial decision. Messi nicks he doesn't nick the ball off Koulibaly. Koulibaly overplaying it. It's weird the way like Varane and Koulibaly can't do what Michael Keane can do. Dead weird. He's trying to play he got a ball in the box, goes to kick it out. Messi puts his foot down first.
We nicks it away.
Koulibaly, well, he doesn't actually touch it. Don't think Messi actually touches it. And I think this is where.
I think he did. I thought
this is where I think there was like the little bit of controversy, or why the ref took 5 minutes. Messi puts his foot down, and the player kicks through. Koulibaly kicks through Messi, and that's what kicks the ball. It looked a stonewall penalty to me.
Well,
it was given after 5 minutes, but people are still going, it's not a penalty.
He kicked his foot.
He kicked Messi. Kicked him in the air.
It was a penalty.
He kicks him in the air. It's a penalty. I don't think the ref should have took so long. But at least the ref went over and looked, obviously, because they're the rules. Went over, looked at the screen and give it, and it's a penalty. And then
Suarez, wasn't it? He took
Suarez took a lovely pen. And then Napoli got a pen themselves.
Insigne. Was it Insigne?
Yeah. With 45 plus 5, they scored that.
Is that the one where the lad's got his hands like this?
Yeah.
So
that's put a little bit of pressure on. But Barca went through, and they'll play Bayern Munich. And that is a very, very interesting
It is I'd make Bayern a favourite.
No, I would.
Just because they're too quick.
But it's very interesting because you've got the Messi factor.
Then you've got Messi and you've got Suarez who can score goals from anywhere, so it does make it interesting. I just think Bayern are going to be too quick for them, personally. I think they've got that know-how as well.
But it's got shades of Liverpool last season, hasn't it? It's got shades of like everyone thinks because Messi's playing and because it's Barcelona that. But Bayern Munich should beat them.
But it's a one-off game.
No, it is a one-off game.
And that's what's interesting, isn't it?
But Bayern Munich should beat them, really, because they're a better team. You know, Barcelona are Barcelona, and I was flicking between the games, and the amount of times Barcelona just at the butt, it was like Napoli just completely giving up, and it was down to walking pace, just passing and passing and passing. And I don't think they'll get away with that against Bayern Munich, because I think Bayern Munich will press high, will nick it off them, and they'll be away before they know it. And I don't know whether Barcelona will be able to cope with that. I really don't. And I think that's what I really wonder how many teams will be able to do that, because even Manchester City, that will be a really interesting battle if Manchester City was to play Bayern Munich at some point, because City love having possession, of course they do, and they press themselves. But I think Bayern Munich pressing, they're just quicker. So that'll be really interesting. And at the moment, I think Bayern Munich are the favourites. For me anyway. But
I think City have got a great chance, really do.
But do you think that Bayern Munich would let but let City get away with, like, being not as clinical.
No, but then again, City might be more clinical in a game where you just don't know how it plays out.
Yeah.
City, what you've got to remember with City is they've got goals from everywhere. Bayern have got as well, but you've got, talking like Aguero might be back. They've got Gabriel Jesus, De Bruyne, Sterling weighs in, Mahrez. They've got a lot of great footballers.
What I would say with
Bayern are dangerous.
With the Real Madrid goal though, if you
give Lewandowski that time,
Bayern Munich do that 3 or 4 times, they'll score 3 or 4 times.
It
was a simple ball into the box.
Yeah, it's one ball in, man.
And what makes you laugh is City have just bought a centre back, and Nagy, who lost 50% of the aerials using his own box. And yet you watch that, and you watch how many City players are just unprepared for it. Right. And that to me is where Bayern Munich could
I'm saying that they've got there's a real good opportunity for them without question.
Yeah, it's gonna be really, really interesting. Let me just tell you what the ties are. So we've got Wednesday, Atalanta versus PSG. That's on Wednesday. That'll be really interesting.
That'll be a cracker one, yeah.
Leipzig, Atletico Madrid. That's Thursday. Friday, Barcelona, Bayern Munich. And Saturday, it is Manchester City versus Lyon. And obviously, there's Europa League games during the week. There's Europa League tonight. It is Manchester United versus Copenhagen and Inter versus Leverkusen, both at 8 o'clock kick-off. Man United should have way too much for Copenhagen, shouldn't they?
Yeah, you'd expect them to be too strong for them. Inter v Bayer Leverkusen. Interesting.
I think Inter should have enough.
They should have enough, yeah.
I watched a bit of their
Leverkusen
game the other day, and Toffee started really, really well, but Inter just slowly took over, and Romelu Lukaku's goal was just typical Romelu Lukaku. So, yeah. Jadon Sancho.
Yeah.
So we literally just come through now. Michael Zorc says, we plan on having Jadon Sancho in our team this season. The decision is final. I think that answers all our questions. So, and they've done this before, and when they do it, they do it. Dortmund are a team that if you negotiate and you play the game, they'll sell players. But if you start messing about and start trying to dictate to them when it's their player, they just walk away because they don't need to sell. Because they know Jadon Sancho this summer will be worth 120 million, and next summer will be worth 120 million. That's the way they look at it. He's their player. So that's an interesting update.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting, because they do stick to it. Now, whether Manchester United go back and give them exactly what they want now in the structure they want, and that persuades them, depends whether Dortmund have made that. If they're saying it's the final decision, and we know that Zorc can play this game, he's done it before, then maybe that is game over for that move. I don't know whether United will try to go back to the table with a different revised offer, who knows. But it'll be interesting to see what they do then if that doesn't come off. United, because it's clear that that's the area he wants. So I wonder if there's others who they're looking at.
I think that sounds like to me, though, that they're giving Manchester United one last go at it. I know he said final. But Dortmund like to get stuff done. They like to get players out and players in.
Well, he's gone with them to Switzerland to their training camp, which, fair enough, he is a Dortmund player, but he's gone over there, so he's at the training camp. So they will start planning for life with him.
Why shouldn't he?
Exactly.
It's their player.
And they'll want to...
they don't want to sell.
They want to win the league.
They just know it's within their business model that they have to do things a certain way. They value him. Not only do they value him, they want the structure in a certain way.
Yeah.
And that's important for them. And they've had real financial struggles. You know, the club nearly went out of business. They do things now in a very certain way, and they don't let anything break that. And Man United have come in, obviously swinging, and they're not having it. So, really interesting.
Be interesting to see where it goes from there, if it goes from there at all.
Looks like Willian is about to sign for Arsenal. He said his goodbyes to Chelsea.
Has he?
So it looks like that's going to go through.
Good player.
Which is a good signing for them. And obviously getting them in action early before the Premier League, before they get back to pre-season, really helps.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. You know, when you just chase 55 staff and you offer someone 7.5 million a season, fair play. But from Arteta's perspective, he is a good player. He's a good player to have. 31. And obviously, Chelsea didn't want to give him 3 years. He wanted the 3 years, didn't he? They've only offered him 2. Lampard said no issue with him going. You know, good player, but we move on. So,
Sheffield United have bid around 2 million for left back Anthony Robinson from Wigan, which has been accepted.
Has it been accepted now? Yeah,
it's been accepted.
Won't it?
Well, they haven't really got a leg to stand on, have they?
No.
Do you think that Everton should have maybe looked at bringing the player back, or do you think it's done and dusted now, and Everton know how good the player is? Now, obviously, Everton. I don't think Everton get anything out of this deal because Wigan were relegated. So they might feel hard done by, because obviously if he'd gone in January and he'd gone to Milan, Everton basically would have got a couple of million out of it, wouldn't he?
Yeah, 2 million.
So everything's obviously changed. But do you think Everton, obviously, you think they're bothered, or do you think it's just one of those things?
No, I mean, I'm not really bothered that we haven't gone for him, because I don't think he's good enough. Certainly what I've seen of him. You know, he's quick. Yeah. He's a flyer. There's no question.
He's not a defender.
That. He's a better left wing back, which is the position that Sheffield United will play him in, so he'll do better. We're coming into a summer where we know money's tight.
Yeah.
So does it make any sense going back to Wigan, paying £2 million to bring him back? So paying more than we sold him for, effectively. Yeah. To bring him back, to look at him and then probably go,
Well, he'd be coming in if he signed for Everton, he'd be coming in as a backup left back, wouldn't he? Maybe for a year, and then. Yeah,
but then what? You get to next summer and then go, we'll sell him. But if he hasn't played, then.
But you're more likely to make more money on him, aren't you?
Well, that's if he doesn't play.
That's the only thing. I just think that for me, I think there's an investment there if you want to look at it like that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered at all by it. But there is, I'm not, and I'm certainly not. I'm not sitting here thinking, oh, he's great. He'd be great backup left back. It'd just be interesting if we looked at it like that and thought, well, for a couple of £1 million, bring him back, give him a year, and then sell him on maybe, because he's not really going to, and he might be a backup left back, but. Yeah, it's a good move for him. Put it this way, it's a very good move from him. Obviously, he had the problem with Milan. Obviously, had the problem with his heart. That's obviously all sorted now. So it's a really good move for him. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on.
Premier League, he might be really good. And hopefully he'll settle and get a chance to just kickstart his career. Because, like you say, illness scuppered that move. Well, not being able to get the medical done in time at Milan scuppered that move for him.
Well, he couldn't have signed anyway. Not with the heart problem. He didn't play for 3 months.
Yeah.
So, well, certainly I don't think he played till after.
No, he didn't till lockdown. But he's been back and he's all right. That's good.
He wouldn't have played. West Brom are in talks with Brighton over a deal for Shane Duffy.
Good signing.
Would be a great move.
Be a good signing for them because he's a Premier League defender, good stopper, knows the division. I think he'll do okay there. Other ones, the lit's out till November. A shoulder surgery. Injured the other day, that's one coming through. United moved for Douglas Costa after missing out on Jadon Sancho. Obviously, Costa's very talented, left footer, play quick. Liverpool appoint former Portsmouth, West Ham and Middlesbrough midfielder Gary O'Neill as their under-23 assistant coach.
Interesting.
Which is an interesting one, isn't it? Højbjerg's arrived for his medical at Spurs. And Brighton have turned down bids from Chelsea, Liverpool and Leeds target Ben White.
He was on loan at Leeds that
Yeah,
season,
yeah.
wasn't he? Let's just jump into your comments before we go. Gary Ward says, congratulations to Orlando City. You obviously got to the final
They did playing tonight, aren't
by
they?
beating
Beat Minnesota 3-1.
3-1. Two, I mean, there's two amazing goals by Nani.
Nani, first touch on is unbelievable. But they've done, like I said, Oscar Pereira, you know, someone we liked at Dallas when he was there, he had a great side there, has gone in at Orlando and he's doing absolutely brilliant. And of course, they win this now, playing Portland, aren't they?
Yeah.
If they win this, they're in the CONCACAF Champions League, which is incredible. It's mad how they've done this tournament, and because these are now going to be factored in as a points total into the normal season.
And the MLS have just revealed the schedule, haven't they, for coming back as well.
So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Gary Ward's also said, Saturday night, Memphis 901 FC lost 1-0 to North Carolina FC. Memphis controlled possession, 57% of shots, 13-9, but couldn't find the back of the net. Tim Howard was on the bench, and Jose Baxter was out injured. There you go. That's our Memphis 901 update.
Roving reporter, Gary Ward.
And Paul Callow says, just to finish off, he says, what do you make of Nike's stadium kits and replica kits? I don't think this is a new thing, Paul. I think Nike have been doing this for a while. I know it's a big thing in the States, funny enough, where they release basically what effectively is the same shirt that the players wear and a replica or a stadium jersey, which sometimes has minor differences, sometimes that's quite big design differences, whether it be an embroidered badge, whether it be a heat applied badge like Everton's. I don't know, mate. I don't know. It's a way for these companies to make more money, which is essentially what they're in it for, isn't it? I suppose it's like we've been getting the replica or stadium jerseys for years anyway, haven't we? Our shirts will never be as good. We actually got an MLS player jersey once sent to us by Steve Tarasham when he was at Columbus Crew, and you could tell the difference. The much better fitted, and listen, it is the way it is. Shirts are nowadays are huge business, and certainly for Liverpool, Nike have put a big investment into them. We're going to make them one, if not their biggest brands, and I think people just have to understand it, don't they? And if they see a shirt for sale for £100 or whatever it is, they've got to understand that that's the best version of the shirt. It's a bit of
£100 though.
It's a bit of fabric, isn't it? At the end of the day,
£100.
Yeah. Listen, there's places where you get them for £7, mate. At the end of the day,
and they're not much different.
It just, you know what I mean. There's places you can get them for £7 if you want them. If you don't, and that's not really fair, but that's just the way it is nowadays. Yeah. There you go. This has been the Footy Show Daily. If you want to watch live and join in with us, make sure to join us over on Patreon. Don't forget to check the link in the description for our new home, our new channel. Footy Show Daily is going to have its own channel very, very soon. So make sure you go over there and subscribe to that channel. There you go. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.